So Korean stock markets closing just a little while ago with a pretty major sell-off. We're joined this afternoon on the line by Dr. Hwang Seiwoon, Research Fellow at the Korea Capital Market Institute. Thank you, Dr. Hwang.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you. So tell us, what happened today on the Korean markets, and what about stocks elsewhere?
Okay, Kospi market fell on today in line with other Asian stock markets as investors sought refuge in safer assets on the U.S. recession worries. Today, Kospi index dropped 1.92%, while Kosdaq index declined 2.25%. Foreigners and institutional investors net sold 69 billion Korean won and 224 billion won respectively, while individuals who took the net buy position of 270 billion Korean won. Stocks in Seoul were under pressure as investors fled to the safety of bonds after cautious remarks by the U.S. Fed. U.S. Treasury yields, which move inversely to prices, broadly declined on Friday. During intraday trading, the yield on the 10-year note dipped below that of the shorter-term 3-month bill for the first time since 2007. Traditionally, an inverted yield curve, where long-term rates fall below the short-term, has signaled an impending recession. The impact of yield curve inversion along with the recession worries was quite huge, and this may continue this week for the most of the Asian stock markets.
Yeah, the inverted yield curve last week, a big story. Now it's Monday and Wall Street isn't open yet, but when it comes to the global economy, what will investors be watching this week?
This week, the global stock markets this week will be extremely sensitive to the outcome of key economic indicators due to concerns about the global recession. This week, we will see major indices such as U.S. GDP growth in the fourth quarter of 2018 and personal consumption expenditure in January. The Wall Street Journal's forecast for the fourth quarter growth rate is 2.4%, which is lower than the previous forecast of 2.6%. A few indicators related to the housing market will be released this week. On the 26th, we will get the January S&P Case-Shiller Housing Price Index and the Federal Housing Finance Agency Housing Price Index. In addition to that, attention will be on how Federal Reserve Board members assess the economic situation, which will be released throughout this week. Federal Governor Randall Quarles, for instance, will speak Friday to the Shadow Open Market Committee on strategic approaches to the Fed balance sheet and communications. And UK Parliament will vote on Tuesday on Prime Minister Theresa May's deal to leave the European Union, which lost by wide margins on January 15th and March 12th. In addition to this, the resumption of high-level trade talks between the U.S. and China is also a very important key factor for the global stock markets.
Right. Well, speaking of U.S. and China, this Thursday and Friday, the 28th and 29th, Beijing will be hosting the latest round of high-level trade talks with the U.S. What do you see possibly coming out of those, and what effect would such an outcome have on the markets?
President Donald Trump is sending Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer and Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin to Beijing, China on Thursday to continue U.S. trade talks with China. Lighthizer has said there's been some progress in negotiations, but noted that a few very big hurdles remain. In addition, the press have repeatedly reported that U.S. officials will not try to reach a hasty settlement. The U.S. negotiation team is concerned that China is pushing negotiations against the demands of the United States. So, uncertainty about the outcome of the negotiation has grown after Donald Trump publicly announced possible plans to keep tariffs on Chinese products even after the conclusion of the trade negotiation. This is in contradiction with the Chinese position that tariffs should be completely abolished Under such circumstances, it will be difficult for the U.S. and China to reach an agreement by the end of April. If high-level negotiators, nevertheless, can get rid of some uncertainties, investment sentiment may revive.
All right, we'll be watching those talks, and we'll have to leave it there, Dr. Hwang. Thanks so much for your insights today.
Thank you.